Right, hello, welcome back. In tonight's video, we're going to be addressing a question that I get asked very frequently, to be fair. What's the most appropriate distance? How far should you be stood away from the golf ball at address? Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, you may notice that I've got three different clubs here. I've got a driver, a gap wedge and a 7-iron. Due to the lie angles and lengths of all these three different clubs, it means that we have to stand different distances away. So you will notice that with a driver, I'm as far away from the golf ball as I should be with any club in my bag. With a 7-iron, I then move a little bit closer, and then with a gap wedge, it's closer still. Tip number one, when it comes to how far you should be stood away from the golf ball, always ensure that the club dictates where you stand. So what I mean by that is, this 7-iron has got a lie angle of about 62 degrees, I think it is, 63 degrees. Set the club up so that the lie angle of that club is square to the ground, and then take your stance around it. So what I don't want to see is the toe being too far in the air and you're taking a stance around that kind of a position. I don't want to see the heel being too far in the air and you're taking a stance around that kind of a position. Set the club up first so that that lie angle's flat, all the club head is flat to the ground, and then take your posture around that. Now, I have heard some suggestions that it might be smart for you to kind of swing a fist. So what I mean by that is, that sounded quite crude really, didn't it? Set up with your left hand only on the golf club, and then if you can freely swing your right hand underneath, that's a good proximity away. I don't mind this idea, it's not the be all and end all. I've seen good golfers strike it well from being this close, I've seen good golfers strike it from being this far away. The big thing for me when it comes to how far should you stand away from the golf ball, and this is tip number 2 by the way, it always relates back to strike. So the most common patterns I see, if you're stood too far away, you're more than likely to hit this side of the golf club, the toe side. So if we're too far away, it makes sense that as we're going to come into impact, the club is going to be more this side of the golf ball and it's going to strike the toe. Similarly, if you stood too close to it, it's more than likely that you're going to hit the heel side and we'll get one of them dreaded shanks. Like that. So in that instance, pretty self-explanatory. If you're too close and you're seeing a couple of shanks, step a little bit further away. Give yourself a little bit more room. See if this brings you some success when you're thinking about striking the middle of that club face. Similarly, if you're hitting it at the toe region and you might be stood too far away, get yourself a little bit closer. Again, see if you can get it back to the centre of this golf club, because strike is king. That's what we're always after. A good way of measuring your strike is either using face tape or athlete's foot spray. I tell this to all my lessons, get a can of athlete's foot spray, spray it on your face, and then it will show you whereabouts you're hitting it as you make contact with the golf ball. Best £3 you'll ever spend, that athlete's foot spray. And again, that's the same for a 52 degree sand wedge, heel, toe strikes, that kind of thing, same with the driver. So there's my 2 kind of basic tips when it comes to proximity, how far should you stand away from the golf ball. If you'd like me to go into more detail with this kind of idea, please make sure you're liking this video, leave me a comment in the comment section below if you want to see me do more of this kind of stuff. The main thing for you guys now is that you take these 2 ideas and you give them a go, because as with many things in golf, there is no definites. This is another variable that we've got in the big swing conundrum. So take these ideas, adapt them to however you need to in order to ensure that you get that strike back in the middle of that golf club, because that's what it's all about. So let that club dictate how you stand to the golf ball, and then from there recognise where you're striking it and make the necessary changes, and then hopefully you'll start buttoning it out in the middle. If you like this video, do the usuals, like, share, subscribe. See you tomorrow, same time. Stay safe, stay indoors. Laters.